Salutations and welcome, racing fans, to another Spotlight Series episode for us here at Trust the Profits. And this one is going to be focused on the huge long shot who won the Wood Memorial, Lord Miles. Before we get to that, make sure to press that subscribe button here on YouTube to get all the great horse racing content that we have here at Trust the Profits as we get you ready for the 2023 Kentucky Derby. But listen, we got a lot of content for other things as well. We're not going to give up on the races that are already taking place whenever they might be happening. Graded stakes previews, capping the card, doubling down, full field rundowns, live betting, Evangeline Downs. Shout out to them for giving us a shout out on their live track feed the other day. So love seeing that. Make sure to like this video, comment below with what your thoughts are on Lord Miles. I am joined in this episode, as always, by El Hombre. El Hombre, how we doing today? And we're talking about a big bomb here, a big long shot.
Yeah, we're loving it, baby. We're down in this, like I mentioned, we're in the second half of the field here. So I think we've talked about this time and time again, this very balanced field. Normally you can kind of put a line through the bottom half of the field here. And this year, you just can't. I mean, I can in this case. We're talking Lord Miles, who, once again, your Wood Memorial champion, deserves to be in the field. No negativity out of me so far. But I mean, come on. It's the New York circuit, not the strongest this year. We'll get into more of that later, but
yeah.
I'm not in love with Lord Miles, but I do get it if you like him, because like you said, this is a bomb. This is going to be a 50-1 horse.
Absolutely. No, he's going to be a huge price. He was a huge price winning the Wood Memorial, I believe 56-1 that day. I was actually there at the track, unlike Saffie Joseph Jr., his trainer. And that was interesting because, of course, if you remember that Wood Memorial weekend, Saffie Joseph Jr.'s other really popular horse, White Abarrio, scratched out of a race that weekend because he spiked a fever. And so most of the Saffie Joseph Jr. team actually left New York, from what I was told. And Lord Miles was there kind of just looking for a groom, looking for somebody to hang out with. But, it was a very unexpected victory for him. Obviously, the two races prior to that, down in that Florida circuit, the Holy Bull at Gulfstream Park, the Tampa Bay Derby, and the interesting part is if you're going to build a case for Lord Miles, and that's what we a little bit try to do here in these Spotlight Series, try to build a little bit of maybe a pro, a con case a little bit for these horses. In the Holy Bull, he was parked on the inside rail coming off of a Mucho Macho Man effort in which he finished third, only his third career race, going long 2 turns for the first time. Didn't run that well, but again, kind of trapped inside, shuffled back, goes to Tampa Bay, gets parked on the inside rail again, gets the number 1 post. And from its Equibase speed figure standpoint, actually improves pretty noticeably from a 72 to an 89. Then finally gets up to the Wood Memorial, gets off the rail, breaks from the number 8 post that day. And again, you see significant progression from a speed figure standpoint, goes all the way up to 100 speed figure that day, and when winning the Wood Memorial in a photo over Hit Show and Dreamlike. So there's some progression in the right direction. I just can't get over what I saw at Gulfstream Park in Tampa Bay Downs. Maybe there are excuses that he was parked on the rail, but it's hard for me to get past that image that I have of him being an also ran in those 2 races.
Well, I'm probably a little bit I'm going to judge him a little harshly because I'm a huge Tapit Trice fan.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're going to clock it back to the Tampa Bay Derby, Tapit Trice basically fell out of the gate, laid on the ground, took a 15-minute nap, and came back for a miraculous victory, okay?
He did.
So for all the haters on Tapit Trice, that horse came back and won that race and beat Lord Miles by 5.5 lengths easily, and beat the whole field easily after that nap out of the gate. Fell down, took a nap.
Yeah.
And again, Lord Miles ran a 89 Equibase speed figure there, and definitely improved for the Wood Memorial. I get it.
Yep.
But I mean, he's so far beyond, and a lot of people are hating on Tapit Trice. I'm not here to defend Tapit Trice. This is the Lord Miles video.
Yep.
But if you believe in Tapit Trice at all, having the worst effort humanly or equinely possible, which he did.
He did.
And then to lose to him by 5.5 lengths, is this the horse that you're going to team up with and say, this is the horse I'm going to,
Yeah.
I'll make one defense on him later.
Yeah.
After I'll let you speak your piece, because I mean, I don't see it at all.
Yeah. It's hard to see.
Looking for, I'm going to put $5 to win on all these 50 to ones or something. I mean, that's other than that. I mean, just outclassed by a mile. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that it's interesting. I think it sometimes reflects, do you think this horse, just needed to get off the rail and could get a better trip, and also, but then goes up to New York. And we've talked consistently throughout this Derby season that New York was a relatively weak prep circuit, hit show. It was kind of hit show and everybody else. And we didn't necessarily even think hit show was a house on fire up there exactly either, in some sort of world beater. So the fact that he beat a field that was really distance limited, I think, in a lot of instances. I mean, the horse that finished third, Dreamlike, is still a maiden, still hasn't even won a race, and so was basically in a photo finish with that horse for the win. Now, another argument you can make is, listen, he's from Curlin, so the shorthand vernacular when you see a horse that is sired by Curlin is, he's going to like the distance. He's going to want to go 10 furlongs. He's going to want to go longer. Here's my issue is that might be true. And your mileage may vary on Paco Lopez, one of the more divisive figures, I think, in horse racing in terms of whether or not people love Paco or dislike Paco. But Paco notwithstanding, Saffie Joseph Jr. as a trainer, we talk a lot about how he has an enclave down in Florida. When you go down to Gulfstream, you bet Saffie. Outside of Florida, it's a little bit more hit or miss. Now, he's had some success in New York, but here's this. Over the last 5 years, Saffie Joseph Jr. is 0 for 22 in graded stakes races in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. That is not the statistic you're looking for if you're trying to make an argument for Lord Miles to win this year. He's just not been a trainer that has had success bringing horses to Churchill Downs or to Keeneland. It does not matter which of those tracks he takes them to. He has zero success at either. So I think he's 0 for 9 at Keeneland and he's 0 for 13 at Churchill Downs in those graded stakes races. It might not be exactly right because I think he also has lost a couple at Kentucky Downs as well. So, it's just not a winning recipe. He is trajectory. He's moving the right direction in terms of the speed figures, but I can't see it here with this particular horse. Just like you said, if he's lost that badly to Tapit Trice, he's lost badly to a horse like Rocket Can, who we think is, a decent horse, but maybe not much more than that. Hard for me to make an argument for Lord Miles in the spot.
Yeah, that trajectory angle that you just touched on for a second there is the only thing I can kind of rest my hat on here to even make an argument for, which I'm not going to. I absolutely am not going to make an argument for Lord Miles. I think it's one of the easiest insta tosses in the field. No disrespect for the folks out there who like Lord Miles. If you like him at 50 to 80 to 1, more power to you guys. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, please, I'm not going to tell you. I mean, Rich Strike won at 90 to 1 last year. I'm not going to tell you not to bet him.
Yeah.
I just can't get there. I won't get there. What you said about Saffie, I'm a huge Saffie fan. He's a monster at Gulfstream.
Yep.
Paco is very divisive, like you said. I mean, he's a wild animal. There's people that think that he's probably shouldn't be allowed in the Kentucky Derby, but we'll go into that another time. But
yeah,
come on, guys. I mean, the New York circuit was weak. The only thing I would say on a positive spin is look at the trajectory of the Equibase speed figures. How much weight you put into that is up to you.
Mm-hmm.
He had by far his best race, the Wood Memorial, and it was a full field.
Yeah, it was.
He did finally get off the rail. I mean, those are a couple things you can rest a little bit of faith in, but he's so far off the radar for me that I can't even breathe. So that's where I'm at with him. I can't.
I hear you. I mean, it's one of those things that when you start making a case for a horse, you're like, well, maybe I could see this horse doing well. So as we're going through this video, I'm like, well, maybe there's a shot. He is a toss for me as well. I'm not going to be including him in my vertical exotics. I just think he's a little too outclassed in this particular field. And he's a horse, I think, who might have a nice career down at Gulfstream Park, running in some of those, grade 2, grade 3 races after this. And, he's a horse that not all that dissimilar from what I said with Rocket Can. Honestly, he's a horse that I hope sticks around as a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, keeps running, because I think he's got some productive races in him later on down at the road in his career, but I just don't see it for right now. So El Hombre and I are both tossing Lord Miles, but listen, if you like him, comment below. Let us know why we're crazy and why you're going to get a great price on him at the Kentucky Derby. And by the way, if you do, congratulations to you.
Yes.
Now, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Trust the Profits for all of our great content that we have. El Hombre, thanks so much for doing this one with me. And to all the folks listening out there, remember, it's now post time.